On GBC 24 and GTV, this is News Tonight. My name is Shirley Annan. The President, John Dramani Mahama, has broken the ground for the rehabilitation of the Koforidua-Bunsu Road. The bad state of the road has been an issue of concern to many commuters on the route. The 20-kilometer project, estimated at 32 million Ghana cedis, is expected to be completed within 18 months.
The Koforidua-Bunsu Road is the major route that links the Eastern Regional Capital and other 8 districts and municipalities in the eastern part of the region. It also serves as a link to 5 Kwewu districts. They are Kwewu West, Kwewu East, Kwewu South and Kwewu Afram Plains North. Due to the bad nature of the road, some passers-by usually described it as a Zonto Road. The rehabilitation of the road, which falls under the Cocoa Roads project, is going to relieve the burden that the travelling public goes through. The project is expected to be completed within 18 months, and it is part of the Cocoa Rehabilitation Project to benefit the Eastern region. In his welcome address, the Chief of Ukrentumi, Dasipre Boamadako, commended government for attending to the needs of the people by starting the rehabilitation of their road. President John Dramani Mahama described the road as an old route that used to link Accra and Kumasi as well as the northern regions. He noted that the rehabilitation of the road is in fulfillment of a promise made during his 2012 campaign. President Mahama announced other roads to be rehabilitated under the Cocoa Roads project.
Akwanya ye se wo de suhum apedwa de na ka ho a ye Kumasi main road no na ne ka ho eye nsawam eburi nkoko etibie suhum asamankese adeso asamankese nsawam asamankese osonase akwetia apedwa chebi bonsu noyem wenso amuana praso ena achem sechere abekwase ekwan enti sankwan na ye de ama contract chese contractors no ewo ho eye adwuma.
The Ministry of Food and Agriculture and the Center for Agricultural and Biological Science International are helping tomato and vegetable farmers to prevent diseases which make it difficult for a good harvest. The team is organizing a series of plant health rallies in various parts of the country. First, to benefit from the plant-wise project are vegetable farmers in the Tano South District.
The beneficiary communities include Dema, Jumo, Techimentia and Akobro. These are predominantly tomato and other vegetable growing areas in the Tano South district of the Bunahafu region. The team, made up of plant doctors and other experts in agronomics, schooled the farmers mainly on steps to take to prevent and fight 3 vital diseases that affect tomato and other vegetables such as pepper, okra and garden eggs. The diseases: Fusarium wilt, known locally as ewuwewuwu, early blight and late blight, have the potential to destroy whole farms. At each community, the team, led by a pathologist and MOFA extension officers, taught the farmers how to identify the diseases, chemicals to use, and best practices to prevent the occurrence of those diseases. Dr. Emmanuel Moses is a pathologist from the CSIR. He says Fusarium wilt is a clear and present danger. A plant doctor and an extension officer at MOFA, Kwame Boase, asked the farmers to regularly consult with plant doctors and extension officers to improve their knowledge on how to deal with plant diseases. A tomato farmer at Dema, Eduse Mensa, spoke about some problems facing tomato farmers with particular reference to the high patronage of tomatoes imported from neighboring Burkina Faso. Beneficiary farmers at the various communities visited spoke about the challenges, especially at the stage of nursing seedlings. Unanimously, they called for more interaction to improve on their yield. Plantwise operates in 55 districts in 5 regions in Ghana.
A 5-day governance and leadership training program for traditional rulers and their staff from across the country has ended at the Otunfo Traditional Leadership Center in Accra. The program for the 50 participants included conflict resolution, strategic leadership and land administration. It has sponsorship from the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Decentralization and the University for Professional Studies, Accra.
The chieftaincy institution is one of the most important and oldest in the world, and just like other institutions which are undergoing reforms to be of relevance in this age, the chieftaincy institution is going through reforms. The traditional authorities studied record keeping, governance, conflict resolution, gender and chieftaincy, strategic leadership, land administration, and the Ghanaian justice system. The Pro Vice-Chancellor of the University of Professional Studies, Accra, UPSA, Dr. Oko Amate, urged participants to let the knowledge they have acquired impact positively on society. A course facilitator at the school, who's also a retired judge, Justice Stephen Brobe, called for more of such courses to make the chiefs more efficient in the governance system.
If you have to take chieftaincy seriously, those who have the power must be made aware that it's high time we tackle the problems of chieftaincy meaningfully, so that you release the handbrakes and allow them to move as naturally and speedily as we want. Otherwise, when the judicial committees don't function properly, we have ourselves to blame more than anybody else.
Participants were impressed with the training and called for the broadening of the scope of the course. The consultant director of the center, Lepora MND Jawula, remarked that his colleagues had been empowered to hold high the flag of their institution.
They make the laws to favor us, but in the end, they do all sorts of things. They give it to you in one hand and take it away with the other hand. All of you here, I find absolutely competent. With time, we shall move this program to the master's level.
Lectures were over and the traditional leaders displayed their prowess in drumming and dancing to show to the world that they are the embodiment of Ghanaian culture and tradition.
Sanitation continues to be an uphill task in some parts of the country. Recently, GBC 24 was in a suburb of Domahinko in the Bunafu region. There, our team came across an old refuse dump site right in the middle of the community. Inquiries revealed that the heap had remained the same for over 1 decade.
Many visitors to Sunyang applaud the effort to keep the city clean. In the Doma municipality, for example, communal cleanup is organized regularly to maintain hygienic surroundings. So to keep up with good environmental practices, the people of Ahantra, say a suburb of Bonoahafo, have sent an appeal to local authorities to help clear the decade-old dump site sitting in the middle of the community. Meanwhile, there is an abandoned incinerator at Ahantra, where the refuse dump is sited. There are other constructed but abandoned incinerators in other areas of the community which also have refuse dump sites. Out of curiosity, GBC 24 spoke to some residents.
We were told that they wanted to do this thing for us so that we dump the refuse into it, and after being dumping into it, we will burn it. But since it came, it has been there. We are not using it. We are not using it. It is not only in my community. I believe that the whole Doma, when you go to where the refuse dump are being dumped, you see some of these things.
The refuse dump is too close to our homes, and this makes our children very sick.
The MCE for Doma, Gordon Esubonting, insists that local authorities are aware of the problem but blamed the situation on the attitude of residents.
Instead of, grown-ups to go there and dispose of their refuse, what they normally do is that they send little children. And you find out that when you send such children, it becomes very difficult for them to put the refuse into the container. So very soon the assembly will begin removing some of them. So those ones will be attended to as a matter of urgency.
He says the assembly has prioritized its work and solving them accordingly.
The Ghana Military Academy has held its 2015 graduation religious parade for cadets of regular career course RCC intake 55 and short service commission special duties intake 53. The commission service was held at the officers cadets mess at Teshi in Accra. The cadets went through 6 and 15 months respectively of drills, physical training and academics, and were grateful to successfully complete the program. The theme for the service was a charge to faithful service. A chief imam, Major Y.M. Shamsuddin, advised the graduates to be morally upright and ethical at all times. He spelled out integrity, faithfulness and cooperation as a vital component for a successful career in the military while abiding by the rules and regulations of the country's constitution. In a sermon, a retired Methodist bishop, Colonel William Jomfia, quoting from Luke 19:26, advised the graduates about the reward for faithful service.
The Ghanaian society has become fiercely secular. Our society cares very little about God or for God. Secularism has spread everywhere, although the churches and other religious bodies are doing what they can. There appears to be no room whatsoever for divine truth. I am confident that we are capable of sailing through them successfully, provided we uphold our core values with firmness, total commitment, and fortitude.
The guest of honor for the ceremony, Air Vice Marshal Mante, retired, cautioned the graduates. Cadets who excelled were given awards. The final commissioning for the Cadet Corps comes off on Thursday, October 22, where the graduates will receive their ranks into their various units. You're still watching news tonight on GBC 24. In international news, Slovenia will only allow 2,500 migrants to cross its borders daily, half the number neighbor Croatia has asked for. Interior Ministry Secretary of State said Slovenia could not accept Croatia's request to take 5,000 because Austria's daily limit is 1,500. Most migrants, many from Afghanistan, Syria and Iraq, are crossing Croatia and Slovenia to reach Western Europe. The limitation on numbers has led to a build-up of migrants and refugees on Croatia's border with Serbia. Around 40 buses of people were packed up in Serbia on Sunday, and tempers flared between migrants and outstretched police officers. The migrants have already spent weeks walking from Turkey via Greece and Serbia. Egyptians are voting for a parliament expected to firmly back President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, who has crushed all opposition since ousting his predecessor Mohamed Morsi in 2013. The much-delayed vote for the 596-member parliament, the previous assembly was dissolved in June 2012, is to be staged in two phases between October 17 and December 2. Polling stations opened at 9 a.m. with more than 27 million people across 14 of Egypt's 27 provinces eligible to vote on Sunday and Monday. In the first phase, analysts said most of the more than 5,000 candidates in the polls overwhelmingly support Sisi and are expected to dominate parliament. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is to meet Israeli and Palestinian leaders this week amid a surge in violence. 7 Israelis have died in knife and gun attacks by lone Palestinians that began earlier this month. More than 40 Palestinians, including several attackers, have been killed. Mr. Kerry's announcement came as the Israeli military removed Jewish worshippers it said had illegally entered a religious site in the occupied West Bank. Mr. Kerry said he would also hold meetings on Syria while in Europe. Time now for some sports. Ghana's paracyclist Ale Mumuni will embark on a 3-day tour as part of activities marking the 33rd World Polio Day celebrations. Mumuni, who is the leading paracyclist in Africa and a participant in the 2012 Paralympic Games in London, will use the opportunity to educate people about polio.
The tour under the team Ride Out Polio will see Ghana's paracyclist Ale Mumuni engaging in a 560-kilometer ride from Accra to Kumasi through Koforidua from October 21 to 24. Mumuni, who was paralyzed at the age of 5 due to polio, says he will leave Accra on October 21 to Koforidua and continue to Kumasi, and will call on the Eastern and Ashanti regional ministers as well as the Asantehene Otumfuo Saitutu II. Mumuni says he will ride back to Accra on October 24 and is expected to reach the Lizzie Sports Complex at East Legon by midday for the World Polio Day celebrations. Mumuni is the polio ambassador for Rotary Club International.
One of FIFA's representatives at this year's FIFA Under-17 World Cup, Guinea, picked up a point in the first game of the competition. They came from behind to draw 1-1 with England. The encounter was one of the Group B's openers. We bring you highlights.
Right foot and then his left. Decent cross, and there's the goal. England have the lead. Caelan Hines. Terrific header from an excellent cross by Willock, and the deadlock is broken on the hour. Well, it was excellent play by Willock. He just transferred it to his left foot, and look how well Hines got up between the two defenders too. Can't quite find his pass. And this place might be costly. Roshan Sullivan is very quick, but here's a real chance for Guinea, and they've equalised. Smashed into the net by Nabi Bangura on the counter-attack. And it was a really, really good strike by Nabi Bangura, who scored 3 goals in the qualifying campaign and has got Guinea's first in the tournament itself. It's 1-1. By Yates and by Davis. That is full time, and a hugely entertaining opening match of the FIFA Under-17 World Cup ends up with the two coaches sharing a point apiece, and at full time it is England 1, Guinea 1.
Well, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.